Okay, I'm back, and I don't have the Surface out anymore. I had to spend about 3 hours this morning working on it and trying to get it to work the correct way. For some reason, when I set up the first time, it decided to try to set itself up in French, and I had to power the device off about 15 times and power it back on. Um, you have to be really careful about how you set this up because it doesn't always work the way you want it to. But the way it's supposed to work is Cortana, which is Microsoft's assistant, is supposed to guide you through the process. Well, I turned on Narrator, which is Narrator is the screen reader on Windows that's built in, and I attempted to use Narrator, and Narrator was completely in French because I somehow had selected the French dialogue. My region was sent to Canada instead of the United States, and I could not get it for the life of me to set to United States. The United States wasn't even in the list of countries that were offered as a choice or an option. So I'm not sure what the problem or the deal was there. Eventually, I don't know exactly how I did it, but eventually I reset it enough to where I was able to walk through the process fully in English and get through everything in English and get it set up. The one I got had Office already on it, and so it had Office 365 already there, so I didn't have to do anything with that. And so I got Office. I have Office on there for at least a month. I'm going to work on getting Office 2016 installed on there because I believe I have an access key for it. And then once I do that, then I will probably work toward trying to figure out some other things. I want to figure out how to share documents easier from the Windows computer to the Mac computer for work purposes. And I also need to get Google Drive file stream downloaded and installed on there. I want to get a couple of my email accounts set up on there as well. So I'll be working on doing that and trying to get things going so I can use the machine for some different things. I'm going to be using the machine a lot for Firefox and for web browsing on Blackboard because Blackboard is a nightmare. But I want to give you guys some warnings about the setup. If you don't do it right, it can make you take 2 to 3 hours, and that is no fun, especially if you're trying to set it up in a language you don't understand. So just try and make sure that you get it set up in English and not in French or Spanish. Try to make sure that you get it working in that way. Also, with the Surface Pro 7, there is on the back of the unit a little piece that pops out, and that allows it to basically become a laptop. Without that piece, it's a tablet and not a laptop. And so what happens is you push out that piece, and then it becomes a laptop. I also had to use an external keyboard to get NVDA set up the way that I wanted because there's no insert key. And so I used a program called Ninite, which installed several different programs for me all at once. And it installed NVDA, Firefox, iTunes, and a couple of other things. And so it installed all of those things for me, but the problem was I couldn't get to the NVDA menu for my screen reader. And so I had to use an external keyboard to get that set up. So If you do have a Surface, you may want to have an external USB keyboard on hand, just in case you need that insert key. Once I've figured out how to get it to work in laptop mode, I was able to make it work really well. I'm actually really impressed at the power that this has. It's a tablet, but it has a pretty significant amount of power. I've been surprised at how fast it's been able to do things. And I've actually been pleasantly surprised by the machine in general. And this is only the first, few hours that I've had it, and it's worked really well for everything I've tried to do on it so far. I've not tried to set up mail yet, and I know that's going to be a hassle. I'm not sure if I'm going to try and use Windows Mail first and then try Thunderbird or what I'm going to do, but I'm going to keep you guys updated on what I decide to do. So the Surface Pro 7, I wanted a smaller laptop for a work machine so I could get access to some things and make sure I had what I needed. And so that works really well for that. So I'm really excited to continue to try this. One thing that I will say is that if you have a MacBook Pro and you have one of the new M1 MacBook Pros where it's not Intel based, there's not going to be an easy way to run Windows anymore. So you're going to have a Windows machine in order to really run Windows programs. And so that's part of why I ended up, doing this, and I needed it for work. I needed it for college stuff, for Blackboard, because Blackboard is getting more and more complicated, unfortunately, and more problematic with the Mac. And so I'm excited to see how Blackboard works with the Mac and I'm excited to see how Blackboard works with Windows and how that does. Blackboard is a software website that is used by a lot of colleges. It's similar to Google Classroom for those of you who are in school. So it's similar to Google Classroom, but it's for colleges instead of for K-12 schools. So I am currently trying to get that, working and having a good time trying to figure that all out. So this is the second video I've recorded on this. I'm going to probably post these videos around the same time, so you won't notice a long difference between the two videos, but I was actually very discouraged at first when I got this because I couldn't figure out how everything worked, and it was really frustrating at first. But now things are looking really good, and I'm really excited to get things more set up on the Windows side and see how well things work for me. So wish me luck on that, and thanks for watching as always. I know there's not very many of you who watch, and I appreciate those of you who have subscribed. I really do. If you have some ideas for comments or ideas for videos that you'd like to see me do, please let me know in the chat. If you have ideas for things I should talk about, please let me know, and I will try and do that. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.